What's going on, guys? Kinsey Entertainment here, and today I'm just going to give you guys about 5 tips on what to do if you're going dumpster diving. These are just tips, how to prepare, what to do while you're there, all sorts of different preparation things that you probably need to know, but they're not exactly required. They're just more recommended. So, starting off here at number 5, I'm going to go ahead and say only go when the store is closed. I mean, I feel like that should be obvious, but just make sure you go like an hour after they close at least. You don't want to go like maybe 10 minutes because chances are they're still in there cleaning up and stuff. So, and this kind of applies to everywhere you're going, by the way. Like, I go to GameStop, but my girlfriend likes to go to Ulta Beauty, so like it's the same thing. So like you just wait like an hour and give them some time to take out the trash and clean up and close and everything because it's not gonna be right away. So moving on here. Oh, and also actually, to go along with that one, I actually go. I prefer to go early in the morning before they open, and the reason I prefer that is because you know for a fact they're not there yet, and I mean early. Like GameStop opens at what, like 9 or 10 or something like that. I think it's 10. So I go at like 7:30. So you kind of have to, take a little bit out of your sleep right there and go early, but it's worth it sometimes. But it's also disappointing if there's nothing there when you do go. So maybe go by the night and, check it, see if there's anything in there and if it's worth going in the morning. If it is, definitely go in the morning if you can, if you're up for it. Moving on to number 4, make sure no one sees you. This is, I mean, it's not that big of a deal. People have seen me dumpster dive, but you never know who's going to care and who's not. So, like, you could find someone who's either scared, maybe you terrify them or something because you're digging through a dumpster. Maybe they think you're trying to steal things, causing like property damage or something, and just make sure they don't see you. Don't act all suspicious and everything, but just try and avoid people. And if someone asks what you're doing, just tell them like you're looking for boxes for college or something, like moving in somewhere. Just come up with a good excuse. Make sure you have an excuse kind of in the back of your head. And then I'll get back to that in a little bit. So number 3, this is more of a recommendation. It's not required, but it is highly recommended. Although I don't do this all the time, I wish I did. Bring gloves is number 3, and wear them. Don't just bring them, but wear them. Sometimes you will come across some nasty stuff. Not so much in GameStop's dumpster, but sometimes you will get a food bag or a plate of food that's not fully eaten or a spilled drink or something. I've gotten that stuff all over my hands, and I can come from personal experience and say that you will want gloves because eventually it will happen to you. So just make sure you wear gloves and just don't try not to touch anything nasty or cut yourself accidentally because that's not good to do in a dumpster. So number 2, I don't know if you guys can hear my dog barking, but he is, so it's kind of annoying. But number 2, moving on here. Bring someone with you. This also is not required. I mean, none of these are required, but they're all highly recommended, especially this one right here. That's why it's number 2 on my list. I mean, honestly, this could be number 1 easily because it's actually dangerous, believe it or not, to just go alone. And you never know, like, you're digging through stuff. You never know who's going to come up on you. Could be a homeless man, could be a store manager or something, could be a police officer. You never know. So just make sure you have someone with you to keep a lookout. You don't want to frighten anyone or like anything like that. So it's good to have someone there to just keep a lookout for you. Make sure no one's coming up on you or anything. Maybe even mug you or something. So obviously you don't want that to happen. So just have someone there. And if y'all see someone, they can warn you and you can get out of there real fast. So it works out really good. I go with either my brother or my girlfriend. So just that can be tough. It can be tough to find someone to go with. But it's worth it trying at least. And if especially this one especially applies if you go at night. In the morning, at least you can see. You don't need a flashlight or anything. At night, you probably need a flashlight. That could also be on this list. You will need a flashlight to go through things unless the area is lit. But early in the morning, it's not as required, as recommended to have someone with you, but I would still recommend it. It's always good to have a lookout. So number 1 on my list, moving on here, is check for security guards or police officers nearby in the area. This is important to me personally because I've had some experience with security guards and not being happy with me going through the dumpsters. Actually happened at Ulta Beauty. We were dumpster diving for my girlfriend, and the security guard, he was in the alley near the dumpster. He was parked there for a while too, and then he started to drive off. So we pulled up, quickly got out. We weren't even going to go through it right there. We were just going to look in it because there were other dumpster divers that came the night before that had been going through it. So we wanted to look during the day and see if there were new bags out there. So she was out looking, and I was in the car, and this guy, he's in a massive truck, and he like backs he like does a tight turn in the alley and backs up like in this massive truck in this tiny little alley. I was just like, wow, this is weird because there's another car trying to get through here also. So like, what is he doing turning around? And then he pulls up, and I notice he's like a security guard or something, I think, in a really bright blue truck, so not really very well hidden or anything, but he like waves over at me, and I don't even roll down my window. I was just ready to drive off. And he like waves over at me and says like, no, like don't go in the dumpster and stuff like that. So we're just like, all right. And so I tell my girlfriend to get back in the car. She does, and we're ready to drive off. But he pulls up right behind my truck and takes a picture of my license plate. It's creepy. But he's a security guard. He can't do anything, but still, you don't want to make him mad. Obviously, you don't want to get like the police called on you if you're acting suspicious and stuff like that, especially when the store's open like that. And he was there all day too. We went back later, and he was still there. So that was kind of a creepy moment because like you never know what people are gonna do. Especially with like security guards and things, sometimes they can like think very highly of themselves and that it's like their duty to stop the crime, but it's not even a crime. But then again, he may not know that. So, but it's his job to keep us away. So, honestly, guys, actually the most important thing I can say is just make sure you don't trespass. I think that's a pretty obvious one. Don't break any locks. Don't hop over any fences or anything like that. Only go to the dumpster if it's available to you, just like by walking up to it. Don't break anything or anything like that, because that will get you arrested, and that's when the police get involved. So definitely that would be like in this, that's like the overall point of this list pretty much, is just like stay safe and everything and be smart and like don't break the law or anything like that. And just yeah, guys, just follow these rules. I mean, if you want to, I'd recommend it. These are some of the rules I follow, although I could follow them closer, yeah. But honestly, I'm just making this video to let you guys know like some things to like keep like your thoughts on or think about when you go dumpster diving. But seriously, you should do it. It's pretty fun, especially when you find good stuff. So thanks for watching, guys, and I'll catch you in the next video.